today we have a great show for you. We're going to be reviewing I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. And we're going to be doing news, sports, weather, whole bunch of stuff. And I got two special guests today. I got Josh Zuckerman and Janine Muller. Say hello.
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 And now here, there's a tradition. I don't know if you know it, Josh, but the tradition is to smell the album. Ah, smell that. Doesn't that bring you back? What year does that take you back to?
It smells like mothballs. How long has this been in your closet?
Exactly. It reminds me of 1981 when I was just a mere child, when I still had hopes and dreams, when they weren't crushed, and life still was worth living.
Children, do you know what these are called? Do you know what these are called? These are called vinyl. Yeah.
What?
So, we're gonna talk about so many things today, but first let's introduce my guest today. And as you can hear in the background there, I'll lower that for now, but we'll get back to that. My guests, as I said, Janine Muller, who is the wife of my former executive producer and frequent guest, Corey Muller. And this is Josh Zuckerman, the great singer, songwriter, guitar player, violin player, the hazel-eyed crooner. I believe that is your tagline.
Really?
I saw that on your bio today.
That's right.
Do you like that?
I do have hazel eyes. I don't know about a
so
crooner.
The
But
hazel-eyed crooner, that's a good tag. I would like that. So anyway, Janine and Josh, they have some sort of connection. I'm not sure how they know each other yet, but we'll get to that. Actually, we might as well get to that now. How do you guys know each other?
We met at a party
Okay.
over 20 years ago.
yes.
And
I came up to her and I said,
yes, he goes, "Hi, my name's Josh Stevens. Want to be friends? I'm from St. Louis."
Yes.
I never heard something like that before. And we became friends.
And that
She's
was
like,
it?
okay.
Friends ever since.
Wow. So you guys know each other over 20 years?
yes.
That's something. So, and Josh, yes, you are, I read that too. I checked, I did my homework before the show today, and I read that you were from St. Louis.
Yeah, originally from St. Louis.
Wow, is that in the United States?
Yes. That's in the United States.
How did you,
It's in the Midwest.
How did that happen? How did you come to be born in St. Louis? I never met anyone from St. Louis before,
okay.
so I'm, I don't know.
Let's see, how do I answer that question? How did I come to be born? Well, actually, I wasn't born in St. Louis. I was born in Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
And I'm not going to explain how I was born, because I think everyone knows that. But anyway, I was born in Denver and moved to St. Louis when I was about a year old. And then I did move by myself. No, I'm kidding. No, my parents actually moved to St. Louis. And then I stayed in St. Louis, and I went to high school there. I had some really great memories and great friends, and I still do. And then my mom got a job transfer to come to Jersey, and my dad followed along. And then I stayed back in St. Louis for a year because I was in a band, and I promised myself if the band didn't work out in St. Louis that I would come to New Jersey and give it a try.
You are going around as just Josh Zuckerman now. You're a solo artist officially, right?
Well, it's Josh Zuckerman and the Blackhearts.
That's not. I heard you were in litigation with Joan Jett over that name.
Actually, she said you can have it because I'm done with them. No, I'm just kidding.
Let me ask you, what was the first album you ever bought? Do you recall this?
I will tell you. Okay, so I have to tell you. So I was a very big geek growing up, and I actually played the violin. My mom made me play violin. So I was playing violin while most people were listening to Ozzy Osbourne and all this stuff that was popular back then. So I didn't even know rock and roll back then. And then I was in seventh grade, and I was driving on my school, not my school bus, on a school bus to school. And back then they had the boom boxes. Remember the boom boxes?
God,
They were like this big
yeah,
with the two big speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I Love Rock and Roll was playing on the radio constantly.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was so awed by this, like, I don't know, by the
sound
song. Yeah, just like,
yeah.
So I ended up going to the school library to see if I could, because back then you could actually take out vinyl,
Really?
albums. Yeah, at libraries.
Wow.
So
Not in
I went
my
to
library.
Yeah, I went to my school library, and this album was all out. So guess what? This album, which is perfect, was in. So I took this album, even though it didn't have the song that I wanted to, and I
Right.
played this album front and back thousands of times, and I became a huge fan of Joan Jett.
Yes.
And that's when I wanted to be a rock star, because I put the violin down and I was like, oh my god, here's this woman who is so cool. She's very powerful. She's got like an attitude. She's sexy, and I don't know why she spoke to me. I think because I was just like I said, I was kind of came from like kind of being a little bit of a geek, shy, and she was just really like this, I don't know, this big powerful like rebel, yeah, and a woman. And I think at that point I just really needed like a real powerful woman figure in my life, you know.
Yeah.
And so she was kind of like that woman figure that I really was drawn to.
Yeah.
So this album I played forever, and then finally I got the I Love Rock and Roll one, and then
Yes.
at that point I became a huge fan.
Right, and Josh requested, he was coming on, and he requested Joan Jett, or I think I knew that he loved Joan Jett, and I suggested Joan Jett, and I forget how it worked, but either way, it worked out great.
But
this album, 1981, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing this song blasting from somewhere. I think it was #1 for the entire 80s.
For 8 weeks.
Only 8 weeks?
Yeah.
I thought it was for like 8 years. Everywhere I went during the 80s. The 80s were kind of hazy for me. That's how I know what China White means.
How crazy is that? But how crazy is that this woman like became so iconic in rock and roll? Like,
yes.
Like here it was like, you know, so a lot of people are like influenced by someone and then like they just die out and they're like a one-hit wonder. But who would think that she's like, you know, still playing music, and she was like at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right, that's
with
what I want to talk
Nirvana.
about. I didn't see that, but I heard about it. She played with Nirvana, the remaining members of Nirvana.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
I did. Well,
what
I didn't
did you do?
I saw it on YouTube, but they played. She played "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did it sound?
It was totally Joan Jett-ish. You know, very punkish
I'd love to
sound.
see
It was
that.
awesome. Yeah. And these are the original Blackhearts, and this Gary Ryan.
You can name the Blackhearts?
Yeah,
Wow,
this is
that's
Gary
awesome.
Ryan.
I bet you couldn't.
Gary-
I can't either.
Gary Ryan is now a teacher, just like me.
That's
He
right.
teaches
You're
in
a teacher.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
So he gave up rock and roll music altogether.
Oh, man.
He is a teacher, and I'm a teacher. This is Ricky Bird. Ricky, I'm friends with on Facebook.
Oh,
which is
really?
Cool. I've chatted with him on Facebook
cool.
before.
What's he up to?
He's still playing music. He's got his
Okay.
own solo CD, and he plays music. And we all know her.
Yeah,
and
we
then
know.
Lee Crystal unfortunately passed away just recently.
Did he really?
Yeah,
I didn't hear that.
and it was interesting because I was playing a kids party, and the person I was playing the kids party for, she was cousins with Lee Crystal, and she
Oh, wow.
told me that Lee Crystal was not doing very well, and like literally like, you know, maybe not even a month later, you know, she emailed me and said that, you know, I'm sure you heard the news that he passed away, and I'm like, I didn't know actually, and then I
Wow.
yeah.
Was he sick
Sad.
or drugs?
No, it wasn't drugs. I think he was.
Okay.
I don't even want to say it because I don't want to say it because I think I might not be right.
Yeah.
But I think it was like either MS or so. It was definitely a dis-ease that he died from. It was
Mhm.
sad.
Yeah, that's very sad.
Yeah.
That this, like I said, that not only this song, but there's a lot of good songs. I bet you love every song on here, right?
I do.
What besides I Love Rock and Roll? What is your favorite song on here?
I always liked.
She does covers and she does Little Drummer Boy.
Well, I love Nag. I love
I was
Crimson
just
and
gonna
Clover.
say that. Nag is my next favorite.
We used to do a cover of that.
yeah,
China White.
I was in a band that did the cover of Nag as well. That was a cool song.
Victim of Circumstances, I always thought would be a cool opening for her show. And one time I saw her, and she opened it with that song.
Oh,
and I'm
really?
like, oh my god, she read my mind.
So have you ever met Joan Jett or
I actually have. I lucked out finally after years and years of just being such a huge fan.
and stalking her?
And stalking her, yes. I'm a huge stalker.
And then the restraining order went out. It
Actually,
expired, right?
it's- yes, finally. After I changed my, that's when I changed my name.
So where'd you meet her?
I met Joan Jett finally. It was this. Okay, so I was a teacher at this time. I was teaching. Obviously, I'm teaching now. But I was on her website, and it said something like about like she's shooting a music video, and they're looking for extras.
Oh, cool.
So I called out of work.
Statute of limitations.
Yes,
Don't worry
and
about
I
it.
went to. I think it was shot. It was in Brooklyn or somewhere in like one of the boroughs in New York, whatever. And she was at shooting a music video at this club, and I was one of the extras, and there wasn't that many people there, and it was the most amazing day. Like,
Oh,
so
cool.
I got to meet her. Carmen Electra was in the video, so
Oh,
Carmen
nice.
Electra was there, so I got to meet her.
Wow, can we see that song? Are you on the actual
I'm
video?
actually not in the video.
Oh, they cut you out?
Probably maybe my hands in there, just go like this, but that's
dang.
it.
That's not right,
But it was great.
Cool,
It was really
anyway.
cool. I got to meet her, and I told her, I said, thank you so much for this experience, and she was just like, She was like, "Oh, cool. I'm glad you're having a good time." I'm like, "No, Joan. You have no idea like how much this means to me." And then she stopped and she got like a little red in the face.
Oh, really?
And she was like,
Cool.
"Oh, what's your name?" And she like shook my hand. And
Oh,
I
cool.
told her that because my band China White used to we opened up for her.
Oh, really?
In 1991 at the Stone Pony. Yeah.
Oh man, you didn't get to meet her at that time?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we said hi to her.
Yes.
I shook her hand.
Yeah.
All right.
It was awesome.
Nice.
She's real.
Because she's tiny,
she's
right?
very
Yeah.
tiny. She's very small.
Because I've seen her in concert. I've never met her, but I've seen her in concert, and
She's
she
5'2".
Yeah, she looks even smaller than that. She's really skinny and all this.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I've always thought she was quite beautiful, even when she had her shaved head and all that.
The Rocky
kind of
Horror. I
stuff.
saw her in the
Yeah.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
She was in that.
That's why she shaved her head because she played Magenta.
Oh man,
Magenta?
what was it, like on Broadway or something?
Yeah, it was on Broadway.
How did I miss this, Janine? Why don't you tell me about
I
this?
didn't know about it.
Yeah.
How
I mean,
long
tell
did
me,
you think
Josh.
you could keep us this from us, Josh?
You can YouTube it. You can
Not
Joan
the
Jett
same.
Rocky Horror.
Oh, I
And
definitely
she
wanna check
shaved
that
her
out.
head. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't know if that's the reason she shaved her head, but it was that time that she shaved her head that she was in
Yeah.
Rocky Horror.
So yeah, she is quite. Is she in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet?
No, I don't think so. I
She
think
must be
was-
eligible.
I think she was. She was
just came
nominated
out.
She should be, though.
She
should be.
should
She
really
absolutely.
should
She was
because she's indicative of what rock and roll is. You know.
exactly that song. I love rock and roll says it all, doesn't it?
It does.
Bad Reputation. That was even in Shrek. Did you know that?
Yes.
They played that in Shrek. So,
I know my Joan.
Yes.
That's why I
So-
wore her shirt.
Yes, that's an awesome shirt.
Thank you.
And what else? What else you want to talk about?
Actually, I play a 1963 Gibson Melody Maker.
Oh,
which
really?
Is just like Joan Jett's.
Where is it?
Where's she? Right here. This one
Oh,
right here.
cool.
Play that same
Same
guitar.
color?
Yep, same white guitar.
Nice.
You know that, right?
Yeah, she is one cool chick. I would have to say she is the coolest chick since Janis Joplin. She would be the coolest chick in rock and roll. Would everyone agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, we're going to be performing a song later on called, what's the name of that song?
I hate myself for loving you, acoustically.
Yes, a great version.
Oh, I have to tell you a story about that one.
Oh,
The
go
person
tell
who-
it right now.
Okay, so the person who wrote that song was a guy named Desmond Child, and he wrote that with Joan Jett, and he has written many
Right.
of the 80s songs. He wrote.
Yeah, they bring him in whenever they need a hit
he wrote,
song.
Heaven's on Fire. He wrote Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca. He wrote Michael Bolton, How Can We Be Lovers If You Can't Be Friends. He wrote Cher, If I Could Turn Back Time. He wrote Livin' on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. He wrote, You Give Love a Bad Name with Bon Jovi. I mean, this guy is humongous songwriter back in the 80s of the time that I grew up and all that. So I was asked to do a show in New York City, and I was supposed to be the musical director of this show. And I took on the project, and I was really excited. And I had no idea this guy knew all these big name people. So there was 2 sold out shows in New York. One of the guys who came was Desmond Child. And when he told me that Desmond Child was coming, I'm like, oh my god, because I was playing my own music with this show that I was doing for this guy, David Mixner, amazing guy. And so Desmond Child was in the audience. He came up to me afterwards, and I gave him all my CDs. And David Mixner, who's friends with Desmond Child, said, Desmond, you got to meet Josh. Josh is a brilliant songwriter, blah, blah, blah. We should have dinner sometime. So then maybe a couple days later, I get an email from Desmond Child saying he would like to take us up on the offer, and he invited us to dinner at his New York, penthouse apartment.
Oh, man.
And it was the most amazing thing. So here I am, in the midst of, this guy who has, written I Hate Myself for Loving You with Joan Jett. He wrote, all these amazing songs, from these bands that I grew up listening to. So it was an honor. It was crazy. I kept my mouth shut because I didn't honestly, I didn't
say
want
nothing stupid. Yeah,
Oh, and they are very, everything was talking about, all this decor and these types of, paintings, and I'm just like,
Was it an awesome apartment, I'm imagining?
Uh-huh, yeah. Well, his email was like, please let me know what your dietary restrictions are so I can let my chef know what you like.
Nice.
I have my chef out on there, too. Whatever you need, my chef is willing to make.
I
out
know,
there.
we're waiting for our Thai food. Let's go.
So, what's the address? Did you mention it? Desmond Child's address?
Yeah, well, he lives in now, he moved to Nashville.
I would like to go to Nashville.
But I wrote
Ever
a
go
children's CD,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave the children's CD to him because he has 2 twins, and, well, he has twins. 2 twins? He has twins.
Yeah, it's 2 twins. So that's quadruplets.
Just twins.
He has got twins. He's got twins, girl.
All right, let's get to some news
Dennis,
here.
what did you put in this cup? Let's see. Live from Dennis's house. Yeah, this is great coffee.
China White. So anyway, let me get to a little news story here that you feel free to use with your kindergarten students tomorrow. So anyway, I like to do the world of human wreckage. You know, I like to see the underside of the news that people don't really know about. So here's a big story, though, that's going around. That this rapper, Andre Johnson, who raps under the name Christ Bearer, cut off his penis before jumping from the balcony of his second-floor North Hollywood home in a bizarre suicide bid early Wednesday. Johnson and the severed penis...
Oh, I like his last name, Johnson.
Isn't that funny? Johnson and the severed penis were transported separately to Sinai Hospital and are resting comfortably, but doctors were unable to reattach it. Neighbors told the police that Johnson managed to get back on his feet after taking the plunge from his balcony shortly before 1 a.m. The baffled neighbors said no one in the apartment was doing any hard drugs that would cause him to do such a thing. Emergency workers found Johnson laying on the ground in a pool of blood outside the building before they rushed him to the hospital, where he remained in critical condition. The severed penis was transported to the hospital a short time later, but could not be reattached. And it could not be reached for comment either at the time of this show. So, what do you think of this story? Is that something you would like to share with your kindergarten class tomorrow?
Yes.
I think that just say no applies to this. You know, that something had to be going wrong here.
He's trying to commit suicide.
Yeah, right? Why do you need to do that?
Jump.
Exactly. And why did this have to be transported separately from him? It's like it had its own ambulance.
I guess he was hoping that he'd leave some of it behind. Like, some of himself behind. That's his legacy. He's leaving his legacy behind.
So now he didn't die. See, this is the thing people don't know. When you're trying to commit suicide, if you succeed, that's the easy part. But the hard part is when you don't succeed, and now you have no penis. And
you're labeled a dumbass.
Yes. And now you have to go the rest of your life like this, you know. So I don't know. All right. So other stories. Every story that I report, it's always people acting crazy in Florida. So I have a bunch of stories of people acting crazy once again in Florida. A Florida man was busted for drug possession, and he left the judge dazed and confused when he heard the suspect's name. His name was Edward Cocaine. This guy's name is actually Edward Cocaine. The 34-year-old suspect caused a courtroom to crack up when he appeared in a Broward County courthouse on Wednesday after he was busted with Xanax in Pembroke Pines, just north of Miami. You know, I thought I'd seen it all, the judge said, as he spoke to Cocaine via video. How many times have the police told you to step out of the car during your life? And the guy replied, every single time. So you can imagine the cops come up to him and say, what's your name? Edward. What's your last name? Cocaine. All right, get out of the car, dumbass. Let's go. And that's really his name. And he was busted with Xanax. He didn't even have cocaine. So
you should change his name to Edward Xanax.
Yes. All right. Now here's another story from Florida. A Florida woman gives birth in a motel bathtub after a 3-day crack binge. Crystal Hissel, 37, gave birth at the Bedbug Inn, and then she cut the umbilical cord with her own teeth.
Oh my God.
Gross.
She has been arrested and is on suicide watch. She is also registered at Oshkosh B'gosh, in case you're interested. I threw that part in. And I threw the Bedbug in. That wasn't really the name of the hotel. It probably was, but I threw that in.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, here's another story. Montana, is that near St. Louis? Montana man Christopher Nicholas Hyatt, 34, charged with assault with bodily fluid after he licked a cop's eyeball while being arrested.
Where do you find this stuff?
Wow,
John, you see, this is current events you don't get to see all the time, you know?
Oh
that I don't even understand. I don't even know what to say about that
I don't
story.
know why a couple of them get that close to
Exactly,
lick his eyeball.
and I'm surprised the guy's not beaten to death by the cop, you know?
I don't
So
get why he wanted to lick his eyeball.
This is human wreckage.
Wow.
Human wreckage. All
I'll
right,
have to put
here's a
that-
good one.
Put that down for like trying to get out of a ticket next time.
I don't think that will work. So here,
Who cares about PBA cards?
this story is entitled "Cleanup on Aisle 5." All right. A Delaware man, Frank Short Jr., 22, was arrested Tuesday after police say he followed a woman around a Walmart store and then threw a handful of his own semen on her legs and buttocks.
I can't.
When first apprehended, he tried to say he had a cold, and he just sneezed on his hand, and he like wiped it off. But then, when viewing the camera and questioning him, he came clean and he admitted the whole sordid story.
Yeah,
So.
apparently he did come clean.
Oh my God.
All right, I got one more controversial story. I don't know. This is the family show, like I said. The Manson family watches it every week, so we know. But anyway, scientists in the USA, I can cut this all out, by the way, so I don't know where this is going, but I'm going to read this anyway. Scientists in the USA have completed the first, all right, I'm going to say this word only one time since it's a family show, and then I'm going to say as we go each time I have to say it. Scientists in the USA have completed the first successful implants of lab-grown vaginas in 4 women with a rare condition who were born without a The extraordinary procedure carried out between 2005 and 2008 have proved a long-term success with all 4 patients who were aged between 13 and 18 at the time of the operation.
Now, wouldn't they be called men? Because we're both born without those. I mean, is it really like that hard to be scientists have to be like?
Well, see, this is what I'm thinking about this, that now that they've managed to successfully do this, that this opens up a whole new world. This could be like the best Christmas gift. I believe that women may become obsolete after this. If they can just package this and, this would be a great gift. If you came over and said, here, Dennis, here is a...
A labia majora?
A lab-grown vagina, who needs women? You got your own, just go on with your life.
And they don't nag.
Exactly.
See?
So this is what I'm saying. This is why that the businesses to invest in the future, I believe, it's going to be weed, because they're going to legalize weed in New Jersey. And then you can open up a weed and a store, and you can sell them, give it out, and women are going to be obsolete. So there you go.
I teach kindergarten.
The opinions of this show are not necessarily Josh's or mine. I'm just reporting on the news. I'm a newsman. I'm a serious journalist. So I just report on what's happening.
Dennis
in the world. Wait,
hold on. He superimposed this part of the film.
It's Photoshop. You're just here for the news. All right. So but I'm saying that would be good investment. That's going to be the wave of the future. You heard it here. So let's play some more Joan Jett. Let's hear some Crimson and Clover. I think that's it. Yes. So, what else we got here? So yes, let's talk a little bit more about you before we wrap this all up, because we got to keep this down to 30 minutes. So you're coming out with a new CD soon, or?
Yes, I'm all excited. I just came from the studio tonight, and before I came here, working on my 5th CD. It's called Background Static of Perpetual Discontent. I've actually released 2 singles already. You can check out the videos on YouTube. The Turnaround and 'Cause I'm Gone are on video.
I'll put up the links and stuff if you have those later on, and people can just click on them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And you have a Facebook page, a website, and all that kind of stuff. I'll put all that up if you like.
And I'm really excited about the new CD. It's going to be great. And I've incorporated 3 old China White songs from back in the day. From China White. And they're going to be on the new CD, and it's going to be 2014 versions of the song.
Oh, that's cool. I'll be looking forward to that. And you got any gigs lined up? You play a lot?
Well, we play a lot, yeah. You could just go to www.joshzuckerman.com to check out where my most, recent gig is.
All right,
And
cool.
Janine will be there, too.
I'll be there.
Selling
She's
t-shirts.
at every gig, yeah. Dancing in the
I
cage
have to
sometimes.
start going. I do.
Yeah, you got to get out of the house, man.
Miss Janine.
I was at every China White.
Want to smell the album again before you go?
But I stood in the back because they had this big fan base in the front. So all the girlfriends had to stand in the back.
All the groupies were up in front.
All the groupies were in front, and all the girlfriends were in the back. So it was me, Karen, Sherry, and Michelle in the back. And you had all groupies up front. And we're just like, okay, well, we'll stay back here.
Well, all right, our time is up. So let's review this album now. I give it a thumbs up. I would give it, let's say, how many stars out of 5, the maximum? I'll give it 4 stars out of 5. What would you say?
5 stars.
5 being Physical Graffiti by Led Zeppelin.
It's definitely one of my favorite albums.
Everyone
so
is entitled to their own opinion. You can, that's the beauty of music. It could be a 6 as far as you're concerned. That's the beauty of it. So, yes, I would, but whatever the rating is, whoever rates it, I would say everyone should own this. Everyone should have this in their collection. Both of these. Maybe Josh will come back after I edit out those news stories. He may come back and do the first Joan Jett or the Runaways or anything. But anyway, this one was the hugest album of the 80s. Everybody knows all these songs. Everybody loves Joan Jett. So if you have a chance, go out and buy this. See, this one's a collector's item because it has her signature. See, she said, I love Dennis on it right here. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, but you can get a regular one in the store for a reasonable amount. So, all right. Thanks for coming on, Josh. Hold up your cup. Live from Dennis's house. Josh Zuckerman Band, Janine Muller. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Buy my music.
Midnight, getting up tap, but where are you? You said you'd meet me, now it's 1:45. I know I'm hanging, but I'm still wanting you. Hey Jack, it's a fact that talking in town, I turn my back and you're messing around. I'm not really jealous, don't like looking like a clown. I think of you every night and day. You took my heart, then you took my pride away. I hate myself for loving you. Can't break free from the things that you do. I wanna walk, but I'll run back to you. That's why I hate myself for loving you. Spent the night without you, but I've been dreaming about the loving you do. I won't be angry about the hell you put me through. Hey man, bet you can treat me right. You just don't know what you've been missing last night. I wanna see your face, say forget it just for spite. I think of you every night and day. You took my heart, then you took my pride away. I hate myself for loving you. Can't break free from the things that you do. I wanna walk, but I'll run back to you. That's why I hate myself for loving you. Think of you every night and day. You took my heart, then you took my pride away. I hate myself for loving you. Can't break free from the things that you do. I wanna walk, but I'll run back to you. That's why I hate myself for loving you. I hate myself for loving you. Can't the things that you do. I wanna walk, but I'll run back to you. That's why